Alright, so in this video I'm going to be going through some of the best commitment methods that I've found to, really help me, but also other people who I've studied in getting the results that just secure your results and guarantee those results of having that longevity. And so when it comes to commitment, right, one of the things that we want to be thinking about is what it really looks like to have that next level commitment. And I think I spoke about this in another one of the videos previously in one of the modules about how in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, they talk about the chapter where a whole army of men went to an island and they burnt the boats. So when you're committing, this is what you want to do. You want to burn the boats so that there is no going back whatsoever. And the number one way that you're going to be able to do this is, without sugarcoating it, is looking at your financial situation and making it worse than it already is, which is like the most scary thing for a lot of people to do because of their relationship with money and how they're so attached towards it and that they cannot let go of it. But the thing about being attached towards money is, like, let me give you an example. Follow along with me whilst we're doing this in watching the video. Is that this represents attachment towards money. I'm gonna grab this little thing that I can see over here. It's just the first thing that I saw. And I want you to grab the first thing that you can see that's roughly this size, or anything that you can scrunch into your hand. And so when you're attached towards money, what happens is you put the money into your safe. You put it into your secure place, your bank account, anywhere that you have it in your wallet. And when people are attached towards money, this is what happens, is that they hold on to it super, super tight because they're so afraid to let go of the money. And so if you hold on tight to your money like this, the only problem with this, as much as the money that's in there, the old money that's been there for years and years and years and years, the money that's in here is not able to actually come out. So that's a good thing. You're keeping it secure. Now here's the bad thing. If there is only old money in here and you're keeping it super secure and holding on tight, protecting yourself and having that type of energy, the hoarder's mentality, then you try to get new money to come in and new money comes around it, it's impossible for anything else to enter. So you can go and pull out some money from your wallet and try to put money into a fist whilst it's locked up like that. It's impossible. But when it becomes possible is as soon as I let go of this attachment towards money, I no longer have a fear, I embrace what's going on, I have that courage to open up my hand, and then from there I can put in all the new money that I want into here and I can let that flow in. So this is the thing, is that when you're making that next level commitment, money is one of the best ways that you can do it. And when you make the commitment, you're doing so in putting down more money and getting rid of everything that you have. Like, that is the best way. Go back to zero. So many people who I know, like of stories of millionaires and billionaires, like the amount of times that they've gone from where they are to complete zero and done it intentionally for the purpose of commitment is like, it's insane. And they do it because they know of how much it gives them a need and desperation to get results. And one of the biggest problems that people have, and probably what you have right now in this call, is that you're not desperate enough. You're not hungry enough. You don't need success enough because you just have enough to pay your bills. Where you want to be is in a place where you don't have enough to pay your bills, or you don't have enough to do the things that you really want to do, right? And provide and how you need to provide for your family, for example. You need to go to zero. That's what needs to happen. And in fact, what I would say is that this first method is not actually about giving away everything that you have financially. It's not that. What this really is about giving to your cause or activity or business venture more than you have, which sounds impossible, right? But it isn't, because most people who traditionally have started out businesses have done so in a way where they actually had to, sell some items, or they had to remortgage their house, which then allowed them to have tons of capital, and from that they invested into their businesses. So that was money that they did not have. And then they somehow became resourceful when they didn't have the resources to go and make a next level commitment. Because imagine what that does for your mindset in terms of that fear of loss. If you literally get rid of all of your possessions in order to make that commitment, like you're going to completely burn the boats. And another way that you can be becoming resourceful is in leveraging other people, right? So it might be that not only do you remortgage your house or you sell certain things, but you look at, okay, let me see what kind of credit I can get, what kind of debt I can get from other lenders. Doesn't always have to be banks, it can be in people. It could be that you know somebody who's a business owner, you know somebody who has a little bit of extra cash flow, and you could ask them for money that you don't necessarily have. You know, one of my favorite movies, I was just watching this on the plane to Malaysia, is a movie with Will Smith that just came out a couple of years ago. It's called King Richard. If you haven't seen it, great movie. I'd highly recommend watching it. It's not just a tennis movie, it's a movie about entrepreneurship, for real. And you know, what they showed with King Richard is he was a businessman who saw his children as assets. And the two children he had were Serena Williams and Venus Williams, who became the greatest of all times in the game of tennis for females. And with the way that he went about getting resources for them was he had to be resourceful. And he would go to the coaches and he would ask the coaches for free coaching, free rackets, and entry to tournaments and places to stay for his entire family. Like, he did that because he painted the vision for them. So I would say that this is probably more of a difficult skill to have in being able to become resourceful around certain people who would be willing to give you cash, because people have less money than banks and lenders. But it's a great way to leverage that if you don't have the option of banks and lenders when it comes to money. But really what it does is it gives you that next level commitment, because it's not only about you right now, it's also, well, I'm actually dealing with another person's money, you know? And this is something that people get scared about, which is why I taught about the key of courage first before going into the key of commitment, because in order to make a commitment, it requires, as a prerequisite, courage. It requires courage to potentially get rejected, because that's literally the worst thing that can come out of you making the ask. You know, making payments back, or, you know, not necessarily getting the resources in the time space allocated, that's a fear for later on. The fear that you experience now in the moment is typically a fear of rejection, that I'm not going to get what I've asked for. So yeah, when you're making this commitment and you're getting resources from people that's not you, because you're looking to commit at the largest amount, which is not what you have but what you don't have, then it's going to require courage. But the best thing that you can do is follow everything that we spoke about in those modules with those principles, and you're not going to have a problem with this. It's going to be totally fine. So that's the one way that you can commit, is of course with your money. Now, another way that's super powerful that you can commit with this key of commitment is by having conversations. And I believe that it's a little bit different to the Power of Public Declaration. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch that one again. But the thing about having conversations is that these conversations are with the people who are most closest to you. So it's the people who are like your spouse, your partner. It's the people who are your friends or your co-workers, like whoever it is that you feel like you just get on with super well on a certain level, and you talk about everything together. That type of person is the one I'm saying. You know, I remember when I was starting out my first ever business, like I literally sat my friend down and we just had a heart-to-heart conversation about all the desires and thoughts and aspirations that I had. And to be honest, I thought that he was going to judge me so much, but because I just sat him down and I was just real with him, and I told him the reasons as to why I felt the way that I felt, completely understood. And then from me doing this, I kind of felt like, now I've had that conversation with him, now I've told him that this is what I'm going to do, he's actually going to hold me accountable to it, and I feel like I can go ahead and go forwards, and I now have permission to give myself the commitment and restricting the freedom of action to spend so much time with him, who is the person who I was spending the most time with anyway. So if this is like your other half and your person that you're married to, your spouse, your partner, then absolutely crucial that you have this conversation first with the key of commitment, because otherwise they're going to have resentment for everything that you do in your business, in your venture. So when you're about to not only invest into your business, where you're going to have less money to spend with them, but also less time to spend with them, this is a time where you want to have that conversation, but you also want to be having conversations throughout your business journey, as it's going to require these commitments ongoing. Because sometimes you're going to commit at the beginning when you launch the business, but then you might commit when you go through a phase of launching somebody else's or helping somebody else, and committing in certain different areas. So yeah, the key of commitment is very important, and those are two of the best methods that you can be using to really commit at the highest level. And if you can combine these two together, I would say that is your secret ingredient for being able to unlock that key of commitment. So right now, here's a little bit of homework. What you want to be doing is you want to have a list of things that you can be putting down as things that you can be doing to commit. So whether it's the public declaration, whether it's the having a conversation with that loved one, whether it's the investing in resources of what you don't have, start writing these ideas down and look at creating a list of priorities as to which ones you feel like you got to do first. And then as soon as you got that list of priorities, then just knock them out one by one, one by one. And I'd recommend getting to a point where you've done all of them as soon as possible, literally within a week. Like, it doesn't need to be that long. And yeah, if you don't know exactly where it is that you need to commit at this point, then let me know. Send out a message to either myself direct, or send a message to one of your assigned coaches, and we'll be able to help you out and guide you out throughout this process, because I appreciate that making a commitment can be a very scary thing, but what can come out the back of it is that you get your ideal marriage with your ideal opportunity, and it can help in some of the areas of your life as well. So this is a super special moment, and we want to help you out through this process so that you're getting the best results that you want to get. But thanks for watching this video. And the next one is going to be a little bit more about the common denominator around commitment and successful people, and that's going to be a special one as well. So I'll see you on that one, and take care.